So I'm still out of town. Once again, sorry about the weird setup, just making do with what I do have. So I wanted to take a quick look at one of my favorite eco-horror films, Dark Age. This is a 1987 release, originally released by Embassy Home Entertainment. The film was never released in its original country of Australia due to some budgeting issues with some of the companies which dealt with the releasing, such as RKO and one of the other companies which pretty much went bankrupt immediately after the release. So it was actually very difficult for the rights to be obtained for the film. Now that the film has been released on DVD, this is actually which was sometime in October of 2011, this is the first time that the film is commercially available in Australia. The film does focus on Steve, who is a ranger for a protection agency, and his difficulties with trying to protect a 25-foot crocodile which has been eating people. In a supporting role, we do have his girlfriend Kathy, who is an anthropologist who does study the Aboriginal people. One of the things that I really do like about this movie is the fact that it's very heavily based on mythology, and it does center on that very greatly. The crocodile, named Numinwari, is very sacred to the Aboriginal tribe. It's believed to be, or believed to carry, the spirit of the people. When an elder passes, they give 2 bones to the crocodile so that the elder can basically, in essence, continue to live. This does cause some problems with the environmental protection, as well as yokels who want to go on a crocodile killing spree. As one of the most controversial scenes in the film does deal with a young boy who is bathing on the beach. The crocodile comes up and basically just swallows him whole. It isn't too graphic, but you do have a first-person view of the closing jaws, so it does feel like the audience is part of the experience. In all honesty, first time seeing the movie, I did own an old VHS copy. I will admit, I did rewind it and play it again. But it does cause some controversy depending on which country, which culture is viewing the scene. Obviously, child killings are considered very taboo. The tribe elder, Undabund, rationalizes this killing as the crocodile merely took the boy because he was always sick. He states that the boy was always sick from the chest, so we would either assume he had asthma or some other type of a breathing problem or some other type of ailment. John Besser, who is the villain in the film, definitely has it in for the crocodile, as originally killed one of his friends when they were out poaching. It later took his arm. So he definitely has it in for this creature. He's going out of his way to lead this smear campaign for trying to kill out crocodiles, trying to make sure this animal is brought in and murdered, or brought in and dealt with. He at one point in the film goes as far as going out to Steve's home, killing all of the crocodiles on the premises. Kathy, in an attempt to warn Steve, does take off. She obviously escapes unharmed, as this is not that kind of film, although you would assume traditionally something would have happened to her. But I'm actually glad that this bit was omitted. It would have been unnecessary, and obviously the producers felt likewise, which was a very tasteful decision in my opinion. One of the things that I found most interesting about the film was Burnham, who did play Undabund, who was the tribe elder. This is his first film. What I did find interesting is that he did not lead a tribal life. He actually lived in the city, and he actually had to learn the Aboriginal accent for the film. I think the crocodile puppet was definitely wonderful, as well as the hydraulic head, which does pop out of the water occasionally. I think it was very, very great puppet work. The texture is very believable, and nowadays something like that wouldn't even be possible. It would just be the standard pathetic computer graphics, which hopefully most people have grown sick of, but I definitely do love the puppeteered alligator. But it's definitely, as far as my giant creature film or eco or natural horror, Dark Age is my #1 favorite film. It's definitely worth a view. The film definitely has its dark moments. It definitely has those jump out of your seat thrills. Another admirable thing is the fact that traditional Aboriginal music was used within the film score, so I definitely do like the mixture of the modern and the traditional, which goes on throughout the film. It also well accompanies the mythological aspect, which is behind Numenwari and the film. So in the film, playing the part of Steve, we do have John Jarrett. Some of you may recognize him from Wolf Creek. He's definitely a wonderful actor. And in the role of Kathy, we have Nikki Coghill, who is definitely also a wonderful actress. It's definitely an amazing cast. They carry the story very well. I do not find anything at all about the story cheesy or laughable. There are some subtle humor moments, but definitely easily looked over if that's not the sort of humor that you're familiar with or don't really care for. It doesn't interfere with the story, but it definitely is a wonderful view, and I highly recommend that if you haven't seen it or heard of it, you should definitely rent it and watch it. It's definitely a great film. That is all I have for you today, and I will talk to you later.